What's up, everybody? My name is Sangye Choiphel, and this is Talking Cinema. Online video streaming platforms or OTT platforms are fast becoming a popular means of consuming cinema. And to talk a little bit about the OTT platform is my guest here tonight, a former journalist, a popular television host and a producer for a show known as Nangi Tam here in BBS. My guest, the founder of Songyala, Mr. Sonam Ugyen. How are you?
Thank you so much, Sangye Choiphel. I'm good. I'm really good. And then it's so good to be here back again and see my buddies in BBS. Thank you so much.
Definitely. Welcome to the show. What you been doing these days?
I've been working on this OTT platform called Songyala, like you just mentioned. And then I've been working on it over a year now.
Wow.
Yeah, and then we have just test launched it.
Okay.
We would like to call it test launch
Okay.
because a lot of things needs to be fixed, and hopefully we'll be able to fix it soon and then keep running it.
I'm sure everybody's waiting for it. I know there's another OTT platform known as Samu.
Yeah.
These two will give many options for viewers to check out interesting content.
Yes.
How did this happen?
Well, I got back from Australia after doing my master's in human resource management, and making movie was somewhere up there.
Okay.
Sitting dormant, I believe. I really wanted to make movies, and be a part of entertainment business ever since. But I was in BBS and then working there for about 11 years, and I believe it got stuck somehow.
Okay.
And then I was sitting in this hotel in Paro in quarantine, talking to my buddy Phuket, a former BBS again.
That's right.
Yeah. And then he said, "What are you going to do now?" I said, "I'm going to do something, related with entertainment industries. So how about make movies?" He said, "How about we make some children books and audiovisual contents, at least see how we are, if we can, help improve the Dzongkha."
Okay.
It is believed that Dzongkha is, deteriorating. I don't know if that is true or not, but that's the general belief. So
Right.
thought we, if we can, somehow do something and then it also make some money out of it. Then he was here and I was in the quarantine and we were talking about it for the last, for about 21 days.
Okay. Nothing to do in the same
Yeah.
place.
Yeah,
Okay.
exactly. And finally, we said, all right, everybody is staying home and they need entertainment. They're fiddling phones. They're almost, say about 69% of Buddhists own smartphones now.
That's right, yeah.
And then most of them stay in the rural, urban areas like Thimbu, Phuntsling, Yelepu, and Samrujongkar. And our internet connection has become really impressive now. It's fast with 4G connectivity. So he was saying, how about we start something, so that people can stay home and watch.
Okay.
Then that's how this idea of streaming movies online came about.
So in a lot of ways, this pandemic, this COVID-19 situation sort of helped in creating this.
It did. And then, in a way, we took advantage of it,
Okay.
but with a good intention, you
Okay.
see. Movie industry apparently is, suffering.
That's
There
right.
are about 25 movies, feature movies, sitting in the, the producer's shelf
That's
to be
right.
screened in the theaters. And we thought we could, at least give a platform and then see if, see that, they don't really suffer, waiting for the cinemas to open. And then, like you mentioned, then there was this SAMO.
All right.
And then when the SAMO came, it was about about competition. So we had to change strategies. So actually we intended to, do it like SAMO was going to do. So we thought it's going to be it's going to be a little difficult for us, because back then we didn't have finance also. So that's why we changed the strategy to, from subscription to pay-per-view, mode. So pay-per-view in the sense now, our subscribers once they sign in to our website. I must say website at the moment because our apps are not so, ready.
Okay.
So after they sign in, and then they have to choose the movies that they want to watch, and then they have to pay for the particular movie they want to watch,
Okay.
and then only they would be able to.
And how long does it last once you pay for it?
For a movie, once you paid, you can watch it for 12 hours. So
Okay.
within that 12 hours, you can watch it anytime.
Okay.
But after
as many times as you want.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yes.
Okay.
So after 12 hours, you will have to pay it again to watch the same movie.
Now, one thing that's been in my mind, especially with these OTT platforms, is now you're competing against mega giant companies such as YouTube
Very
or
true.
Vimeo,
Yes.
the likes of that. How do you feel about that? What's your take on that? I mean, how can you penetrate the market in terms of that,
Well,
even within the Bhutanese context?
it can be, sometimes really ambitious and stupid at the same time. Even coming out with such an idea, knowing that there's such a tech giant like you mentioned Netflix, Amazon, and then recently there was this news that these tech giants are going to combine together.
Wow.
You know,
So that means it's going to be a
yes,
mega tech
yes,
giant.
it's just going to be. So it was, it's estimated that by 2025, the online streaming business is going to grow to $69 billion business.
Wow.
So we are, I don't know what are we going to do there, but our hope at the moment is that even I'm sure that we won't be able to compete with any of the international streaming businesses, but at least for the Bhutanese we would be able to give a decent alternative of watching the Bhutanese contents, and by and by if there are other international viewers who are interested in Bhutanese contents, maybe they could watch it. So that's the only that's the only thing that we had in our mind, and then that would be our focus also. But one thing that we really are trying to focus on is to improve the quality of the Bhutanese content. Because I'm not saying that it is bad already, but we can improve. There are rooms for improvement, so that even international viewers can, at least, based on their
Well,
interest.
explain that. I mean, let's talk about the Bhutanese film industry. Obviously, they're doing great,
Yep.
but they've been suffering because of this pandemic situation. How can you improve? Like, what does Songyala offer that's a little bit different than what Bhutanese film industry already has?
Well, at the, till recently, when we talk about movie, we talk about 2.5 hours long movies.
Or 3 hours.
3
I
hours
believe most
sometimes.
Bhutanese films are minimum 3 hours.
3 hours
right?
sometimes. And people never, most of the people didn't hear about short films.
Okay.
And it was BBS, thanks to BBS, during this hard time, the BBS and the Office of the Gaby Zimbe, came up with this idea of, entertaining the Bhutanese through, short films.
Short films, right.
Yes, so until
series.
then, most of us didn't really know about short films. You can tell stories within just 3 minutes now.
That's right.
And to stream it online, people don't really have time to, sit on a movie for 2.5 hours or 3 hours.
Especially online.
Yeah.
I mean, our attention span is like a
Exactly.
goldfish, isn't it?
Very true, yeah. So that's the intention. We're trying to cut it short and then, bring entertainment within, as short as possible. And talking about trying to improve things, the Bhutanese movies, right now, this is my personal belief. It's almost like Bollywood movies.
Okay.
Like there has to be songs. There
Sure.
has to
This
be
is specifically formula that they follow.
Yes,
Okay.
it's kind of prescribed.
Sure, sure.
But what I'm trying to do is that you can actually go out of that prescribed norms,
Sure.
whatever and then make movies. It's really open and wild,
Right. I always say cinema is an open field.
Yes,
As
yes.
long as you have some interesting perspective of telling a story, you can do it.
Yes, Yes. So most of us, I mean, most of the movies that we watch so far, either it's romantic movie, I mean, based on love stories, or you know, I mean, the historic, you know,
Sure.
based on
Historic
folk
drama
tales, or
or
yeah,
right.
and then legends or things like that. But you know, we could improvise within the amenities that you have at your disposal. You could still make a decent and then you know, I mean, you could make it a little better than what we
Sure.
have been making.
Sure.
So that's the effort and the attempt that we are trying to make it right now.
But I mean, just looking in general, I believe the improvement is there,
Yes,
and you could
yes,
see that
yes, yes.
on online contents
Very
or
true.
even the movies that are coming out now. I mean, there are vast differences, and the OTT platforms just gives it another option to improve even further.
Yes, yes.
But let's talk about like how you got into movies. Now, obviously, you said you've been always interested in making movies. How did that come about? Like, I mean, yes, you've been a journalist here. You've worked in the news here in BBS for a very long time. How do you shift from being a journalist into this creative art, let's say, of cinema and movies?
Well, as I mentioned, you know, somewhere up there, you know, I really was interested in this entertainment business. Perhaps it is due to the fact that back in the days, you know, when I was in schools, I was seen more on the stage than in the.
Is that right? Oh, okay. That's
Yeah.
something I didn't know. I
Yeah,
mean, you know, I've known you for a long time, right here in BVS,
Yeah.
but that's something that I didn't know.
I was, you know, since my pre-primary schools, you know, I was on the stages, you know, I mean, doing skits, other cultural activities. I wasn't good at it, you
Okay.
know, but I was there till my, you know, last final days in Sharapsis. Even after my, I finished my, you know, degree, I went back in the college to do what, you know, drama.
Wow,
It
okay.
was you know, translated from English play called an inspector calls or something, you know,
Okay.
and then it was made in Zonka,
Okay.
and then we passed out. We already passed out,
Okay.
and we were still, you know, doing for the college, you know, going.
Adamant to finish that play, huh? That's wonderful.
Yes, yeah. So I do a little bit of direction, acting, you know, a little bit of everything.
Sure,
So
like
ever
a
since-
jack of all trade, all rounder, sort of get the
Exactly.
feel of
Yep.
what the cinema field is,
Yeah, yeah.
or the theater field is.
Yeah,
Okay.
but when you come to, I mean, doing this thing for the, I mean, you know, I mean, when you really do it, it's really, I mean, as they say, it's really painful, you know.
But you need to have a certain amount of pain in order to sort of enjoy the fruits of your labor. I mean,
That's
that
exactly
pain
what I
is
believe.
you know,
Yeah.
the process of making this art, isn't it? I
Yeah.
mean, that's the wonderful thing about cinema. And you really have to be passionate about it.
Very true, and also patient
Right,
about
right.
it. So because we have, as I said, I've test launched this on the 15th of April, and then yet most of the people don't really know about Songyala, you know.
Okay.
And even when they know, you know, they do not know how to, you know, watch it.
Sure.
And
sure.
then everybody wants us to, you know, make it simple. But at the same time, as much as you want to make it simple, but there are also other, you know, issues like security. You know, but you don't want to compromise the security features in the system. So hope is that people will get to know about it, you know, with passing time. And also enjoy the contents that we sincerely and, you know, hopefully thought that, you know, people would appreciate it one day or the other.
Sure. So Songyala, so far, I mean, you've done your test run to it, and I'm sure pretty soon you'll be launching it. So in terms of promotion, like you said, most people don't really know
Yeah,
about it right
yeah.
now. How are you doing? Is it just through word of mouth, or how are you promoting it?
We are doing a bit of everything.
Okay.
So the first thing we did was come here for Mr. Singh Doji's store review show.
Sure.
Yeah, it was a paid program which helped us a lot. You know, we are still thankful for BBS for doing that, and also word of mouth. And we used social media. to advocate on it. And now we have 4 girls in the street running around and meeting people, trying to
Personally promote.
yes,
Oh,
yes,
wow. Okay.
trying to talk with them, and then talk about our future, and then if
Okay.
they listen, sign up and subscribe for our contents right on spot. So if you ever see 4 girls coming up to you and talking
And talk
about
about
Songyala,
Songyala.
please be polite and nice to them.
You heard it, guys. So if you ever walking down the street in Thimphu City and you meet these wonderful 4 girls talking about Songyala, take a few minutes and listen to it.
Yeah.
Maybe they have some very interesting things to offer. And I will confirm to that. I mean, if you visit songyala.com, there are some trailers on
Yes,
it, very
and
interesting
also some
trailers
movies.
of some future movies and
Yes.
series,
Yep.
perhaps. Very, very interesting. So check it out and be nice to the ladies. One question. Any specific reason why it's ladies promoting this?
Well, I mean, we could have employed guys as well. I mean, men as well. But it's not really like being sexist or whatever. But we have to admit this. It's if I go to the street and talk to people, I don't know if I would get the same
Reaction?
reaction from
Or attention, rather?
attention. Yeah, whether you like it or not, I think it's girls do the talking better than us. That's what
Mostly
I
so.
feel.
That's one of the advantages
Yeah,
that they
yeah.
have, and I believe it's a very
Yeah,
strong advantage.
yeah, that's what I believe. So, but I'm not really. I mean, we don't have specific reasons for doing that, but no, I think they are better than us.
Just trying to go out of subject here. Thank
But
you for your response.
on the content, you mentioned that there are trailers on web. We also have a few short films,
Okay.
plus one comedy drama.
The
We have-
title is?
it's actually it's supposed to be Tage Samdu, but we had to later change it to just Samdu.
Okay.
And then it's funny. It's funny. And then
Give us a premise to this series, right?
yeah, it's actually about a man who thinks that it's so easy to get jobs and get the things that he wants, in life easily as he imagines. So he leaves his wife in the village. He leaves his village behind and comes to the city in
Big
Thimphu.
city.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then he goes to one of his village mates in Thimphu, and then tells him that I'll get my job easily, I mean within a day or so. And then also with my good looks and glib tongue, will get a beautiful wife.
He's very confident in
Yes,
himself.
yes, he's also very rich. I mean, a girl who is very rich to be married.
So
But
he will easily get a job. He will easily
That's
get
he
a
bel-
rich
that's-
girl that he's
yeah.
gonna marry.
That's what he believes, but the reality, puts him to check, and he faces the real reality of looking for a job.
And I'll tell you, I mean, I saw the trailer and it's very interesting. A lot of mishaps happens to him.
Yes,
Even
yes.
though he's very confident in himself, everything goes wrong.
Yes.
Another thing that I really that was quite thought-provoking, perhaps, with that comedy series is you push the boundary in terms of what can be shown on screen. I wanted to talk about that a little bit later, but since we're already in that subject, we could talk about that.
Yeah, I'm glad you brought it out as well.
Right.
Well, yes, I did try to, that's why I said I tried. I mean, my effort in this is to, improve the, because precedents are there. Like in some movies, like Chala is really popular.
Sure.
Line.
I mean, like, so far, in terms of censorship, okay, now, I mean, so far right now, you have to be creative and use innuendos to sort of talk about particular subject matters that are deemed to be censored, right? But, yes, I mean, like, you're sort of pushing that to the point. Go ahead.
It was a test, and then, when it got to the National Film Commission, I'm so glad that they are so progressive.
Okay.
National Film Commission is so
So
progressive.
they are open to
yes,
sort of,
yes.
okay.
If you go I have to admit, if you go by the regulations,
Uh-huh.
regulations are really stringent. I mean, it's so tight.
Right.
But I'm really impressed with them because they're so progressive. And then they said that they're going to review the regulations and
Sure.
try to make it more rooms for
Oh, wow.
creativity in the industry. I think
That's
this is
something
really
new.
heartening. Um, the reason I had to change, my comedy drama from Sangye Choiphel
title, right.
to Samdu is, because they were apprehensive that we didn't realize the Trage, it's about,
Well, the connotation of the name
yeah,
perhaps might
yeah, exactly.
deem to be something else.
Yeah,
Or
yeah.
yeah.
So,
The context or the meaning might change.
exactly.
Right.
So we had to change it to some group, and then most of the lines and the scenes, they didn't really object about it. They, in fact, they said it was well made, and then I'm so encouraged to do even more. But we also need to know our limits, yeah. So in the process of entertaining, we should not offend any groups of people,
There's an ethical
Yes,
responsibility.
yes,
Is that
exactly,
okay?
exactly. So we have to listen to the National Film Commission and then their concerns.
Sure.
The other thing is in the industry itself, there are lots of talented people, be it writer, be it actors, and directors for director of photographies and things like that. There's really talented guys. They are all waiting just for a better opportunity.
Sure.
Opportunity in the sense, a good script, good, teamwork, plus money. Money.
Funding is in the end the biggest issue,
Yes,
isn't it?
yes. So I believe not all the artists in the country are paid well.
Okay.
So probably that's one reason which pulled the quality or quantity, whatever, behind. So if we can, focus on all these issues, I think it's going to be better.
Definitely. I had one of my former guests, Ausup,
Yes.
talk about this particular subject matter, especially in terms of the value of talents. But like you said, I believe like once you have the opportunity, once you make that improvement, I think all of that sort of comes along with it.
Yeah,
up
because
with
so
it.
far I think Ausup was really right. I saw that video that he was speaking about valuing talent. You use somebody's time for 1 hour, 1 day, or
Right.
1 week, and then you expect them to do it for free.
Right.
That's really boring. I always tell everyone I come across, it's their time, it's their talent, skills. They have invested time
Sure.
in, by gaining or gathering that particular skills.
Takes a long time.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it takes long time, and then you should really you should not take this for granted, and then you should not expect them to do it for free. That's boring.
right.
It's not just in movie industries, everywhere. For instance, if you know someone who knows a little bit of electrifications or wiring
Sure.
in the villages, you call him and then you make him do things just over a cup of tea or something.
Right.
That's not cool,
So that culture needs to change.
Yes, yes, you have to at least pay. Talking about it, I met one singer. I'm sure most of us know, Mr. Nala.
Oh yes.
Yeah,
yes.
he's a good rapper.
Yes, he is.
He sang this title song for Samrup.
Oh,
Samrup,
okay.
yeah.
Okay.
So he was telling us that at least pay him, even if it is $100, pay him, so that at least he doesn't feel that his
That his
skills,
talent is being neglected,
Yeah,
right.
yeah. So we have to honor and respect. We are, even if you cannot really afford to pay the exact amount, commensurating to whatever his skills are, but at least pay him.
Right. For his time,
Yes,
for his talent.
yes.
That's right.
So that's what we do, and that's why our cost of productions are really high.
Okay.
We made Namshe,
Sure.
our first short film, and then it you wouldn't believe it cost us about $700,000.
Oh my. What's the duration?
It's just 45 minutes.
45 minutes.
45 minutes, yeah. So we sincerely and paid artists and all the other people who are working with us, a decent amount, and I believe they're all happy. So
Well,
that's we have to do. We must try and do that.
Sure, sure. You got to work together. You got to respect
Yes,
each other.
yeah.
You got to pay for their time
Yes,
and talent,
yes,
definitely.
yes.
But in terms of funding, so how are you securing the funds, basically?
Thank you so much for bringing that out again. Now we, um, so far we did it on our own money. You know, I mean,
Wow,
now we
that's
are.
a very risky factor, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah. Now, literally, we had zero accounts. You know, we don't have money, so we had to approach the government, National Credit Guaranteed Scheme, and I believe they have already, helped SAMU, and then they helped us. They
Okay.
helped us, and then they have agreed to. We asked for a few million, and then they approved it, and then soon we will be able to have access to the money that they have granted to us.
Sure.
And then with that, we hope that we would be able to sustain till our business picks up.
Okay.
So this national credit grant scheme is, I think it's not only helping me and Samo, but I believe it's helping almost all the entrepreneurs across the kingdom,
Sure.
who who comes with the bright business ideas. So I think this is really helpful. And then BDBL,
Sure.
we are getting the loan through BDBL, so we are really thankful for the government, the National Credit Grant Scheme, plus the BDBL. I believe there are 3 banks, who can avail themselves of these loan facilities. That is national. BOB,
BOB. Okay.
then BDBL, and the National Credit Grant Scheme.
Well, it's definitely good to hear that the government is in support of these
Yes,
kind of
yes.
platforms,
Yes.
starting up something new here within Bhutan. That's a wonderful
Yes,
news.
that's
Wonderful
very
news.
helpful also. From one side, government is really helping all the entrepreneurs to come up with business ideas to help boost the economy. And if it is not timely, it's not late, which I'm really glad about it. But at the same time, things have really improved. I have to admit and acknowledge this. But there are rooms for improvement. From the other end, the ease of doing business has to be also addressed, and then we have to intensify our efforts in trying to make doing business. Easing the people who wants to take up businesses. So there are many little things that needs to be taken care of.
I'm sure you guys hold all these stakeholders in the government. Is there meetings held so that there's improvement for the future to talk about these kind of issues, basically?
It did not happen so far, but I really wanted to do that. If I get a chance, I would. I talked with a few officers in the National Credit Grants Scheme. I've mentioned this, and then they're forthcoming about this. They think this is good. Because from one side they are facilitating us with financial services, but from other end, if the two doesn't go, if the two don't go hand in hand, yeah, so it can cost for the government also, not just the entrepreneurs. Yeah, so.
But the outlook is generally a positive outlook in terms of that.
Yes. And I'm so surprised. You don't have to really go and visit offices for services. You can do things online. Yeah, sitting. You can sit in your underwear in your room and then do things. That's so.
That's the future of business, isn't it?
Yes.
Everything is online.
That's so brilliant of.
Which leads me to ask. What's your take on this consuming cinema through an OTT platform? Is that the future of how we're going to consume, especially since this pandemic is not gonna let go of us for a long time, for the next 2-3 years? And even if it does, even if we do find ways to curb it or stop it, this particular type of way of consuming cinema, I think, will go on. What's your take on this? Is this the future of how we consume media?
That's what I believed, but your belief keeps changing, I have to admit it. But, as far as I'm concerned, OTT is the future of entertainment business. there was this report saying that globally it's going to take up by 2025. There was this apprehension that theaters might get closed.
Right.
But in Bhutan, I don't think this will happen,
Okay.
because what we make for the OTT is not as same as what you make for the theaters. So there would be alternatives for the viewers to
So there's a clear distinction between the content made for OTT.
not really
platforms
clear,
or-
but there are some distinctions.
Sure.
For instance, duration. The
Okay.
length is the
Okay.
one. The other one is not many Bhutanese people can fiddle a phone
With a
and
with a smartphone.
yeah.
Besides the main city.
Yeah. They might know how to make a basic use, like using WeChats and other stuff. But especially when it comes to using our platform, they need to have their email addresses.
Sure.
Then they have to
Gotta
punch in
sign in,
verification
right.
code. And then they have to wait for the one-time password from the banks.
Okay.
So it's cumbersome
Okay.
for most of the people.
Okay.
So I'm sure there would be there would be people who prefer to go to
Still
the
go to the
theaters,
theaters
yeah, and
once it
watch the
opens
movies.
up.
But I think OTT is the future of the entertainment industry. But for Bhutan, I think you can only speak it based on beliefs.
Right.
And
There's no statistics or
yeah,
numbers
yeah,
that sort of
yeah.
backs up these
Yeah.
kind of things. Right?
So the only numbers I have is that that the users, people who use smartphones, but it's I mean, getting wrong, especially for me. I thought once I launch it, there would be at least 20,000 viewers for a particular content. We are struggling to even get 1,000
Wow.
at the moment.
Wow.
Perhaps it's because we haven't done the marketing as aggressively as we have to. But again, when it comes to paying, we are really different. Exactly. I
Right.
mean, I thought our movies are really cheap.
Right.
20.
Sure.
Namshi is just $40.
Sure.
Then Samrup's episodes are just $30.
Sure.
I thought they wouldn't mind paying that, but I don't know. There's some doubt for the viewers that paying it, and then what if it doesn't work?
Right.
So it's going to take time.
Okay.
Take a while for us.
So there's that. Maybe it's because they don't really understand
Yes,
it right now,
yeah.
as of now.
Probably, yeah. But hopefully, people will check in once, and then at least spend some time and money, and then see for themselves that this is not just
Sure.
scam or something.
legit.
Yeah, it's
Right.
legit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I mean, do check it out. I mean, Songyala, there's Samu, and I'm sure in the future more will come up, which just means there's going to be varieties of content. One thing I want to ask you is, I mentioned earlier, you're competing in the likes of Netflix and Amazon Prime and YouTube, perhaps. It's free, right?
Yes.
YouTube is free. I
Free.
mean, so many contents you could consume within the YouTube. And you mentioned you're expecting at least 20,000 view per video or per shorts or per
Yep.
feature film.
Yeah.
Now our population is
Yes.
very small. What's the number expectation in terms of getting that, especially in terms of in the likes of competing against the giants, mega giants like YouTube, Netflix, Amazon Prime?
So that was my calculation, to just have about 20,000
Okay.
for one content. Actually, as every one of us know, we have around say 700,000 people.
Yeah.
Out of that, at least with based on my studies, at least there are 300,000 people who are using smartphones, and most of them they are in the places where they have good internet connectivity.
Right.
So out of 300,000, I was expecting just about 20,000
Okay.
viewers for.
That's a very humble number
Yes,
you've already.
yes.
Okay.
But again, that I am afraid that it's going to be wrong for me. But hopefully, I know I am right.
Okay. I hope you're right as well.
Yeah, so at
Um,
least if I get about 20,000 viewers for one content,
Sure,
I
sure.
should be able to, pay, for the other projects,
Sure.
the
Or
artists,
sustain your
yeah,
projects
yeah.
throughout the future. Right?
So as I said, if you have to sustain, if you have to stand out, you have to maintain, certain things, and then to do that, you really need that 20,000 viewers for
Bare
yeah,
minimum.
minimum.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I think with time this will come.
Sure.
It's only a matter of time. Most people don't really know what we have made, and they're really different. They're really different. Even conceptually,
Sure.
even the making
Sure.
is really different.
Sure. But one thing that I think has that you have going for you, for any OTT platform owners or founders, is the content, isn't
Yes,
it? I mean,
yes.
Bhutanese content is something new in the
Yeah,
market.
yeah.
There might be a niche for it even within outside of the country. I understand you're the cinematographer, director for almost all the content
Yes.
that's
That's for now.
Okay.
That's for now, because we intend to also collaborate with other directors
Okay.
and producers and other artists as well. So the reason I did it is that it can sound pompous as at times, but as I said, wanted to at least set a bar,
Sure.
so that we don't fall below
Sure,
that.
sure.
And then I believe we made that. And
I
then
believe so. I mean, like I said earlier, I looked through the Songyala website and I watched through all the trailers.
Yep.
And they were great. They were amazing.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Especially, I mean, you were mentioning the feature film with the taxi driver.
Namshi.
Yes, Namshe. Beautiful. The color. I mean, this. I just saw the trailer. I haven't watched the entire feature film, so hopefully maybe I will. But just looking at the trailer, I mean, it was just beautiful. It was shot. I think it was shot very well.
Thank you so much.
Tell us about it. Give us a little synopsis on it. What the film is about and what it took to film it.
Well, Namshi is a film based on a belief that I mean, most of us believe in Namshi, right? It's a soul. So when someone dies, he physically he or she dies, but his soul remains.
The body dies, but
Yeah,
the soul remains.
remains.
Right.
So that's the Namshi is about that. So a girl apparently dies a week before, and then everybody is looking for her. No one knows she died.
Okay. So they
And
can't find her body.
No.
Okay.
So a taxi driver who who is a womanizer.
Okay.
He doesn't believe in working hard.
Okay.
He believes in easy meal and stuff like that. And then so
There seems to be a common theme throughout some of the shorts and the features that are, on Samu platform right now.
oh yeah.
I mean, well,
Well, I mean, so somehow he sees that soul. So in his eyes, it's he doesn't even suspect that's someone who has just recently died.
Sure.
So he offers her a free ride,
Okay.
takes her somewhere in
Because he has his own
yeah,
agenda.
yeah.
Right. Okay.
So and then he tries to seduce her, and then
Okay.
she pushes him, and then hurls him on the ground. But still, then he doesn't get it, And then
Okay.
he often tells him to let's go to that particular place, and then
Okay.
the way she talks, the way she acts is all suspicious, for a
Okay.
normal person, to.
So the audience knows it. Just
Yeah.
the characters within the
Yeah.
film, they don't know.
They don't know it.
Okay. Wonderful.
So at the end, he he helps gather everything together, and then discovers that actually that girl is dead. Even he manages to help the investigators to find out who
Sure.
killed
Sure.
her.
Sure.
So that's how I try to make it's in my own way of doing things a little differently, because these are the things that we have not really talked about
Sure.
or shown in the screen.
It's a a great way of showing suspense. I mean, Alfred
Yeah,
Hitchcock is one of my
it's-
favorite directors, and I love his films. And he's the master of suspense, isn't it? And that's one of the techniques that you use. You tell the audience something has happened,
Yes.
but the characters
Just
don't
don't
know
know
about
it,
it.
yeah.
And as a viewer, you're there like going, "Oh my gosh, why don't you know?" Right? And it's a great formula of suspense. The genre of the film, is it horror, suspense?
No, it's suspense thriller. It's
Okay.
supposed to be suspense thriller, but I have to also admit that I know nothing about direction. I know nothing
Right.
about movie making.
Sure.
You know, I know nothing about acting.
Sure.
All are from
Your own experience.
Yeah, yeah. So I try to study. You know, I try to go online and find out as much as possible.
Uh-huh.
But for me, doesn't really help. You know,
Mhm.
to follow somebody's style of doing things.
Sure. Okay.
Because I believe it is, I don't know how to put it this, but I think to have it my own style, pure and
Sure. You don't want to be tainted by
yeah,
other things, right?
yes, yeah. I want to do the things that in my own ways, but at the same time, make it in a way that people love it.
I think so. I think that's a great formula. And another great thing about cinema is like sometimes it's best when you
Yes.
don't have the preconceived notion
Yep,
of how
yeah.
things are supposed to be.
Yeah, I think
right?
that's
I mean, you've worked in a television, so you sort of know the rules of the framing,
Yeah, yeah.
the mise en scene, right? Or lighting, perhaps even. You know this. It's in the back of your head, but not having been tainted by other maybe even popular directors or filmmakers is one great way of telling a very unique style of a story.
Yeah.
And it's a great thing, I think.
I hope so, because I don't know anyone by name, be it directors or actors. I might know a few actors in the Bollywood and Hollywood, the senior actors, but new cast, I know no one. I might have seen them on
Sure.
screens and movies, but
That's fascinating. That's such a wonderful thing. I mean, and it's such an encouragement to all the young, perhaps young viewers who wants to make film, right? And they're probably worrying, oh, I don't know anything about
Yeah,
film.
yeah.
Oh, I probably need to go to school, film school. This is a great encouragement. For
yeah,
them.
I believe everybody is an actor. I
Right.
mean, you only have to explore and capitalize on themselves. For instance, Sangye Choiphel, if I were to direct you, I wouldn't want you to do things that the other actors are doing.
Sure.
I would want you to do that, things like you're just doing it.
Okay.
Talk the way you
Sure.
talk.
Sure.
Walk the way you walk.
Sure.
That's it. I mean, I believe that's what acting is
Sure.
all about.
Sure.
As long as that particular the character fits in
Sure.
the story that
Sure.
we have.
And us human beings, we're innately just storytellers, aren't
Yeah,
we?
yeah.
We're
Yeah,
people
everybody.
who likes to tell stories.
Yes, and everybody has a the different way of telling stories.
Exactly.
So, and then
And that's the beauty.
yes, exactly. Yes, yes.
That's the beauty.
Yeah.
Tell me, what was your favorite film growing up? I mean,
Well-
what was the first film, perhaps, if you do remember, that
I
really
do.
got
I do.
you?
I saw this movie called Sholay.
Okay.
Did you-
yeah.
did you see that
I
movie?
watched it. Amitabh Bachchan, right? Wow.
I saw it in Lugar
Epic.
Theatre
Uh-huh.
back then. I think it was just $2.
Uh-huh.
I don't know what year it was, but it was just $2. I saw the movie with my dad. And then it was midnight show.
Okay.
I think after evening show, it was called midnight or
Okay.
something show. So we saw that movie.
Uh-huh.
I think that movie is still popular. It's a masterpiece.
classic. I believe it's a
Yeah,
classic, isn't
yes.
it?
So that really inspired me, and then you
Okay.
wouldn't believe, and no, I really wanted to tell this. I grew up mostly in the rural places,
Uh-huh.
and we had to herd cattle and do farm works.
Uh-huh.
And whenever I was on my own, I become director, actor, singer,
Okay.
everything.
Okay.
I would finish a whole movie.
By yourself.
Yeah,
While herding the
yeah, I
cows.
would say the dialogues. I would do action sequences. I don't know if people do that, but there was.
I think people do that. I remember when I was growing up. I mean, I used to also do that kind of thing.
Oh.
I used to hold a frame in front of me, in front of my family, and pretend like I'm on television, basically.
I'm not alone in that. So yeah, I did that, and then I think that fascinated me, and then I think even my dad, my late dad, was so interested in entertainment, because I'm from Simtoka, and then we are so close to Simtoka,
Sure.
Rigjung. Back then it was I think we used to call that for till recently we used to call that Simtoka Lobda.
Okay.
And then we could go there and then watch skit competitions and drama competition and stuff like that. And then one of the most popular, I don't know if it is popular now, people talk about it now or not, but that stayed for a while. There was this small skit called Jaku and Yanku.
Okay.
It was really funny comedy script. And then we used to enact that at home. My dad used to do it within our families whenever we had time. We would, some of us would dress like female characters.
Sure.
And
So
then
you had the entire costume
yeah,
and
yeah.
characters.
We did
okay.
that. So I think that helped us. A lot. And then in the schools, then like I said, I
You were
took
involved in plays,
part in plays,
stage acts and whatnot.
Yeah, and then in some schools I even wrote plays and directed and acted in and it did well. I mean, when you look at it now, it was so stupid. You don't find it quite interesting, but that time people really liked it.
Sure, sure. But it was a stepping stone to sort of having you maybe in terms of inception, like it's planted that seed
I think it was
in your head, I
yeah,
guess,
yeah.
right? In a lot of
Yeah.
ways. I mean, that's sort of like now you're thinking back, and that's how you have sort of really started into this field of entertainment.
Yeah.
Which is really great. Now, for your future projects within Songyala, would you be making thrillers, or are you more inclined to making comedies? I mean, what's your thing?
Well, I wanted to do a bit of everything.
Okay.
But I started with a comedy
Okay.
and a thriller, and we're working on another suspense thriller.
Okay.
It's called Sleepwalk.
Okay.
The poster is out.
Yes.
So it's about it's a murder mystery.
Right.
A lot of courtroom dramas and stuff like
Okay.
that.
Well, one of my favorite actors is starring in it, Bumpa.
Yep.
Yeah,
Yep,
yeah.
he's-
I think he's one of
He's the defense lawyer in it. So
He's a great actor, I
He's
believe.
crazy. I mean, he's really good.
Right.
I think I haven't seen professional artists like him.
Okay.
He's really professional. His wife gave birth
Okay.
when he was working with us in Chamgang.
Oh wow!
And
Congratulations to Bumpa.
Yeah.
yeah.
And then he chose to stay with us.
Oh wow! Because he's dedicated
Yeah.
with his
Yeah,
with his
and
craft,
then
right?
It's rare quality that we see. It sounds like selfish from our side, but on his part, that was so professional.
Okay.
And then he knew how to divide his family time.
Sure.
And now he's with his family and his
Okay.
second child, and then he's trying to spend much time, as much time as is possible
With his
until he
family.
gets the other projects.
Sure.
The other reason, I believe in my team and my qualities that I have a very beautiful team,
Okay.
including the director of photography.
Sure.
Some people complain he's slow, but he's slow for a reason.
Sure.
He's
People have their own
yeah.
procedure, ways of
Yes,
working,
yes.
right? You just have to understand.
Every shots that he gets has to be perfect,
Okay.
and he doesn't want to compromise about it. He doesn't
Well,
even listen to us.
That seems to be the case with every good cinematographer.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
very meticulous.
Yes, yes.
And at a first glance, you might think, hey, whoa, I can't work with this guy, right? But you have,
Yeah, yeah.
once you understand the deeper
Yeah, you
understanding
fall
of it,
in
they're
love with
very
them.
meticulous.
Yes,
They
yes.
want their shots to
Yes,
be perfect.
very good.
It's an art form for them,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
So definitely, that seems to be the case for every good cinematographer.
Yeah, I think we need a few more like him
Sure.
in the industry,
Sure.
so that it will. Obviously, he's slow, but he's really dedicated, and then he believes in what he
Right.
does. And then, unless he gets what he wants, he doesn't want to listen to anything.
Well, filmmaking in general is a collaborative work.
Yes,
And you
yes.
gotta function well as a team. One last question that I like to ask my guest, whoever sits there, is due to the lack of time. Obviously, I'm gonna have to finish up the show. What would you say to the young viewers or any viewer who's an enthusiast of cinema, filmmaking?
Well-
What's your advice to them?
Well, just give it a try. Just give it a try because, as I said, there's no dearth of talent in the country. The only thing is, opportunities and platform. I think with OTT platforms like Songyala and Samu, and I believe there are a few more in the pipelines.
Right.
And also there are mainstream, theaters. I mean, so there are opportunities, but if you are interested, just don't do things because you think you can do it. But I think you have to do a little bit of homeworks as well.
Sure. Know what you're getting into.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, and don't straight away think about money. If you're thinking about money, in many cases you might end up in other professions that you don't really enjoy.
Okay.
So if you are interested in entertainment business, do it anyways, and then give your best. Try to be professional. Learn from people. Learn from online. I mean, it's all the informations are just a click away now.
That's right. That's why I love YouTube.
Yeah.
You could find everything there, right?
Yeah. If you want to learn about acting, directing, whatever, everything is there. So learn. And then most actors in the country don't really know how to speak Dzongkha.
Okay.
That really is a problem. So I think if you want to be actor in Bhutan, you have to speak Dzongkha. And then if you want to speak Dzongkha, you speak better Dzongkha.
Okay.
You know.
Try to hone in that skill.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
be a role model, basically.
exactly.
Right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because everybody watches you and follow you.
That's
you know,
right.
And then you
That's
make
right.
a wrong trend. That's dangerous. It happened.
Yes. And we talked about the
Yes.
ethical responsibility
Yeah.
of artists, right? Or art makers. You have a responsibility to be the best.
Yeah.
And show the best. Well, Sonam Ugyen, thank you very much for coming to Talking Cinema. One thing I'd like to say before we end the show is Sonam Ugyen and I, most people tend to mistaken us, and hopefully tonight with this show, it has distinguished us. Once again, thank you so much.
Thank you
Sonam
so
Ugyen.
much, Sangye. And then also this last comment was good because everybody, most people think that I'm you.
Right.
And they ask
And
me,
most
"Why?"
people think I'm you.
So we are different. I'm not as good as Sangye Choiphel. So
Oh no! What I tell the people is, yes, he's my doppelganger, but he's the handsome version of it.
Thank you so much. But I think I got so many credits, and then I enjoyed, being you sometimes.
Well, thank you anyways. Please come back again next time, and have a good night.